Hi friends, this is Gail O'Neill, and I teach stamping. I hope you enjoy. Inlays, and I know you've seen a couple. This is one I threw together today with scraps, but you can see that it's flat into it, inlaid. This one, this is one that I learned my lesson on. This is a single layer. So now I'm basically doing double layers. What I'll probably do with this one is cut it and remount it. Because what happens when you're doing just thin DSP, it kind of bleh. So I'll show you how I do doubles. You did see one. Well, I didn't do it live here. I did it on YouTube, just a video that went straight to YouTube. But when I did the kit, so I had inlaid this one, and then when it's kind of funny because you end up with, you know, other pieces. So this is one I'm going to be putting together. I may not finish it tonight, but they'll kind of match each other. So you can always use, and that'll be like that. So it'll basically be the same card, but opposite. So you can always use the piece that you take out, and it's kind of addicting because you keep going and going and going. So you say, oh, I could use this, and I can use that. And I'll kind of show you some of that. So these are pieces that came out of some of the ones that I'm doing tonight. So this would go like this, but now I'm thinking, if I flip that around, because this one I didn't glue, now I'm starting to not glue them, that I could do something like this on a card, put my saying here and decorate it however. This came out of one of the cards. This was that one, the other one that I just showed you. And then I have all these pieces, and I'm going to show you, you know, some days I just sit and practice techniques, and then I end up with all these cards. So I was thinking, well, I could take that and put that on that. These flowers that I colored to match, and I could put a saying, but I could also maybe add that to it and then mount that onto a card. So that's kind of how I figure out my cards. I play a lot. One of the techniques I want you to see, well, let me just show you some of these. Like, these are all techniques I just played with one day. I just cut one out of that, and this was, you know, just putting your pad streaking down on glossy cardstock, and this was with alcohol and ink, and this was smashing. You can see the side of the pad just, you know, with alcohol. But what I did with that, one of them, just to show you that, and I didn't finish punching all them out, but this was one of them. So you can always do that. This also could become an inlay if you were to cut this out of a piece of cardstock, and you'll understand it in a couple minutes, and then you put back the piece of what you cut out. Okay, to get this one, what you do is you take two pieces of cardstock. The top one is going to cut completely through. So say I put this through. This is my bottom, and say that's the gray there. And I run it through with my die. Let's just take a die so you can see it. So when this one comes out, the bottom one is going to be just like this. It's not cut through all the way. So you can use it on a card like itself. You can inlay it. I saw a beautiful card by Jenny Hall, and she did it in white on white and put a bird and her saying, and it was really pretty. So that would go... Here's one that I did. So I could leave it like this, and use that as a background, and I've done that little butterfly. Or I can add this back, and I didn't finish the card because I couldn't decide. So I'm going to set it aside, and then I'm going to look at comments and see if you like it with or without. I think I'm kind of liking it with. And then when I see what you like, I will put it together. But let's do one so you can see the process. Okay. And this ribbon is so gorgeous, but it's not available anymore as one of the freebies. Oh, it's hot in my room. It's freezing outside, but it's hot here. Okay, so I took this and I did them separate. I was gluing them all together, but I'm going to glue it while we're watching. So you get the picture. This just goes through, and there goes one on the floor. Goes through with this die. All right, so let's put that together. Now this one goes through with the 2 dies, and then that comes out, and that's going to get inlaid into that. Now this one I didn't do double, but these I'm layering now. No more singles for me. I really want my other tape, and there it is. Okay, so we're going to just get all this tape on there. And some of these cards look just fine without doing the inlay, just, you know, layering them. So it's not something you have to do, but sometimes it's just, I think liquid glue is kind of easier sometimes to get this back together. Okay, and then I'm going to put a bow on this before I tape it down. You know what, I'm going to do it this way. Because my hands are not good. This weather is not good. Although I am feeling a little better from physical therapy on my shoulder and my neck. And of course I listened. He said, no shoveling. I went, all right. Okay, with the piece. Okay, so I'm going to do it with the piece. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a piece like this, which I can put on after it's mounted. So let's mount that up. And I think I'm going to add some liquid glue to this as well. Stay over here, would you? And you'll see when I do the teapot one, this is really an easy one. There's not pieces you have to worry about putting back in. But when you are doing an inlay that you're cutting out something that has a lot of pieces, like if you remember that quilt die we had, ooh, like I did one where I saved all those pieces and put them back in. And you could even do that with these, you know, cut them out of different colors and then put these little things back in. But I like quick cards. That's me. So we're going to tie this bow. Maybe I cut it too short to be able to do it with my fingers. I'll tell you, since my hands are like they are, I do waste more ribbon than I ever used to, because I need bigger pieces. Ugh. All right, we're gonna leave it like that, and I'll do a bow later. Or I might just cut it and leave it floating. All right, so let's make sure all the little pieces are out of here. One of my tricks, I flick it, and if they're loose enough, yep, there it goes. If they're loose enough, they'll come out. Love my vacuum cleaner. All right, so we're just gonna get, and then I found the easiest trick with this one is after you get a whole bunch of dots, then I kind of went around here. It was easier to do this than it was to get it on the piece itself. Okay. So then you just line it back in. Wiggle it around a little, and it's in. Look at that. There was one that I didn't catch. Dun dun dun. Hope that was the only one. All right, let's stick this pin in there, and then I'll... So on this other one, I did that, but I have said it, that I kind of have a shelf next to where I stamp, and I'll put my creations up there, and sometimes I look at them and go, yeah, I see something different than that. So, where did I put it? It was, oh, it's right here in front of me. Duh. Okay, so we're going to take this. Wishing you well. And you could even do a double layer on one of your like little banner pieces. That's a little crooked. I may end up putting a piece over it, but for now we're gonna go with it. Yeah, I like that better. So I'm gonna take a few of these little ones, the minis. So my car still has snow on it. I didn't go out. As a matter of fact, I'm still in my nightgown. So now I have to put a clean nightgown on to go to sleep. And get off. So we're going to put that right there. And I'm going to trim this. I may decide to add a bow to it after. But that's an inlay, a very simple inlay. So there's that one. I think I like that bow. All right, let's come back and put this one together. Since everybody said with, it's going with. So again, you're just gonna, and I tried using the the Sizzix sheets. I don't have fun with those. I don't know why, but I end up with like goobers all over it and gets on my hands. It sticks everywhere. I don't mind it for solid pieces, but things that have all these little pieces, it just doesn't do it for me. So if you feel my pain, it's not just you. Okay, a little bit more there and there. All right, and that's going to get mounted up. Where's my biggins? All I got is minis. So really, this is a pretty simple card. These are old. I hope they stick. I was cleaning out some things and found a couple of old packages. God only knows what else I'll find. So we're going to put that about there. Now let's see. I think I'll just add glue in the middle. Maybe right there. So it's a pretty basic, simple card. Okay, now this next one is going to show you, even though I'm not taking it to the machine in front of you, it's going to show you the process. Okay, so I took, this was from the butterfly collection. So I cut a piece big enough so that I could stamp the teapot, and what I did was embossed it in white onto this. Then I took it and glued it to a piece of white and then cut it. So what you also have, and this is what you have to keep track of, not for the piece you're putting in, for the piece that you're taking out. So this was DSP, and I glued it onto a piece of white, cut it to the size I wanted it, took it to the machine, and put it through. This is the piece you have to hold on to, because when you put this in, then you need your background to fill back up. You got that, right? Okay, so we're going to take this and glue this down. You want to make sure you get that little piece. And certain pieces will have more. Oh, I should have stamped my thing first. All right, it'll still work. Okay, so we've got the Stamparatus, and I'm using Make-A-Wish. So I'm going to clean it and do the whole process again, even though if I put it there, it should work, except I didn't have the background. Oh, and what I did, look at the difference. I use a lot of Norwex stuff, and I was boiling my Norwex and decided to throw in one of the halves. So it lightened it, but and cleaned it. Quite a bit of this dark came off. You can see that. But it also softened it, so when I take it to the sink, it absorbs faster. So I'm really super loving it even more now that I've cut it. And I mean, I can really, like, I love it. Love it. You think I love it? Okay. So I'm going to put this like this. I'm going to come back and pick it up. Usually I put an ink pad or stamp case under there, but I'm not. I'll make life difficult. And I'm going to give it a second. I probably should have used the other black because it's brighter, but I like my memento. Put my hand in that. Okay, that's good. Okay, so then what I also did, I couldn't do it out of this one. The other one worked out. I cut a butterfly, but I was able to get it, except it was missing a little, just the corner. But laying it right by the line of Wish, like, hid that. But I couldn't get anything close to being whole from the other piece. So if you can get it in and cut it without ruining other ones, this is gonna chuck that one, but what I normally do is cut them out. Like, I'll cut a circle, and then this is how I did a different one for the other teapot card. I just attach it and put it in. Alright, so where to go? There it is. So I'm going to put that right there. And then this is going to get inlaid. And it just fits right in there. And then once you put that piece in, now we're cooking. So again, just a really simple, but in that one you got to see basically the whole process without me pulling the machine out. And there's a drop of glue there. I hope everybody has a glue eraser, because that is the lifesaver. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to... Oh, let me just show you some of these that it does work. See, if I were to do that, and then I took one. So this was the lace folder. This was one of those that I showed you that I cut, my little practice things. So could do a trellis like that. This is out of the wood paper. Or this one was kind of funny. I was playing this morning and I was watercoloring these because I was going to put them on something. and my palette was sitting here and it flipped over. So I went, oh. So I just started like dabbing it in there. So that really, I'm going to use it on something. It came out really pretty. Wonder. Nah, needs different colors. But, you know, I always have all these little pieces left over, and I have a pile of them, and that's really how a lot of my cards happen. So that'll be happening into something. Always keep a box of all your little extras. You think you won't need them, and this definitely will become a card, like I showed you how I play. So let me bring these all back. I like that one. I definitely like that one better. This one, I don't like the colors, but it was just stuff that was laying there. I'm not putting that one on Pinterest. And I think that was it. Okay. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and I will see you Sunday unless I pop in, which I might as I'm discovering some different things. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. Good night.